Hello, Fabiano. Thank you so much for joining me. First of all, I want to say congratulations for recently winning the US Masters. Tell me a little bit your thoughts about that event.
Yeah, I was joking that I can count the amount of open events that I've played, not counting like the Grand Swiss, which is kind of a mix in between, on one hand. So if we go back, like my last kind of typical US Open was in 2006, the Eastern Open. And that was when I was 14 years old. So that's I have like fond memories of it, but that's going back a long time. And then at some point, Maurice Ashley was organizing an event every year called the Millionaire Chess. So I played that in 2015. Then I played the Reykjavik Open in 2012. So it's like, I could really list them off very quickly how many I've played in the last 20 years. But it was a fun experience. I wasn't sure what to expect going in because it's 2 games a day, playing a lot of players who could be very underrated, and also for my rating, to keep my rating or not to lose a lot of rating points, and also for tournament victory, because you have to score usually 7.5 out of 9 to even share first place, which is what would have happened, right? 7.5 out of 9 would have been a tie for first. So I didn't know what to expect, but it ended up all right. There was like a very rocky moment. In the middle, I lost a very crucial game to someone who was just running away with it, Nico Theodoru, and he beat me. I don't know if I would say convincingly, but he deserved to win for sure. It was a very up and down game, but he was playing better throughout most of it. And then I was like, okay, I had no chance, right, to win the tournament now, but maybe tie for first if I'm very lucky. Maybe second place is good. But it all ended up working out in the end. I got some luck, and I was trying to fight for my chances. So yeah, it was a fun experience.
I feel like that's how champions are made, basically. You have a tough moment at some point, and then you come back after it. So I want to know what was going on through your mind. How did you put yourself back together and said, okay, now I'm going to try to win every single one in order to still have a chance to finish at least second, as you said? Well,
it's like I've been in these very disappointing moments before, even more disappointing than that one, or more difficult, because there are, of course, levels of like how important the game is and how important the loss is. So I've lost some very painful games, and I guess you kind of learn that there's really no, like, you don't gain anything from despairing. It doesn't help you out. And I've also seen times when you think a tournament's over and there's still some hope. Sometimes you take your chances and sometimes you don't, but even when you don't take your chances, you realize that there would have been maybe some hope if things had gone a bit differently or a bit better. So I think the experience helps as well. Of course, I say this with like the benefit of things working out, right? It could have also been a different story. For example, I played this very talented young player, Andy Woodward. I think he's around 14 or 15, but he's already a grandmaster, and it was objectively drawn position at some point. If I had drawn that game, I think I wouldn't have been speaking quite so fondly about the tournament. But yeah, if you try to take your chances, it will sometimes work out, and at least that's what I was trying.
And now you're ready to play another tournament here in St. Louis, the St. Louis Masters, which is having the exact same format. You are, of course, as we mentioned, still used to the more of the elite tournaments that are happening here with 1 round a day. And yesterday, literally, you finished the US Masters, and tomorrow, so you have 1 day rest where you actually had to travel back, right? And now you're going into another tournament. How are you feeling about that? Still the same excitement and ready for it, or do you feel a bit tired considering the other one just finished?
Yeah, still a bit tired for sure, but I guess that was always going to be the case. I mean, there was no way that I was going to avoid any level of tiredness playing 2 tournaments in a row, and also many of the players here will be coming off that one. So I spoke to a lot of the people, and we were all traveling in different times today, but we're all coming back and then coming to play the St. Louis Masters. Like a lot of the players from St. Louis University, a lot of the players from Mizzou, and also 2 players that I work with, Grigori Oparin and Michal Antipo. They're playing both tournaments as well. Even Christian, who is more used to commentating and talking about chess, will be playing for the first time in quite a while. So it'll be interesting. I do expect tiredness will play a role, I hope, not too negatively from my point of view. I'll try at least to get some good sleep tonight, because tomorrow is an early morning game, so definitely the sleep will play an important role for everyone.
And you and Christian are, since you mentioned him, are having this amazing C Squared podcast that I love listening to every time I get the chance. And I actually was going to ask you about it a little bit. Besides being a super accomplished chess player, you also have started, creating this podcast with Christian and also a Chessable course. And I want to ask you, what do you enjoy about creating content?
Well, it's not as a natural role for me to talk about chess. I think when it comes to just like explaining moves or annotating games or describing my thoughts or even giving like some instructional advice, although it's probably not, I'm not the best in the world at it for sure. I'm not a natural coach, and there are many great coaches out there, but I think I can do a decent job with trying to explain chess, and also it provides an outlet to kind of get some of my thoughts out there, right? Because sometimes you just want to speak your mind. Even if it's just to one person, or if it's to hundreds or thousands of people, you just want to kind of get your thoughts out there and get it off your chest. And when it came to the Chessable course, they approached me in 2022 during the candidates, and they asked me if I would be interested. I was like, okay, maybe I'll think about it. Eventually, I gave in to the idea that it would be nice to have something out there. And I wanted to make it something that I enjoy. So it wasn't really like, what will sell the best. But I did it on an opening that I'm quite fond of and I've played all my life. And yeah, it ended up being more or less a labor of love. Like, I don't think it's for most people to learn from. I think it's kind of a very specialized thing, and it'll probably only benefit a certain amount of chess players, while not everyone in the world wants to learn some intricacies of some opening variation. But it was fun. I did enjoy doing it. I'm happy that I did it, although it was a huge amount of work, and I'm happy that it's out there and people can have a look and decide if they like it too.
I think you're being a bit modest when you say that you're not a great coach. I really enjoyed the way you describe things, and I hope you continue doing that later on. Right now, we of course still want to see you compete. And I'm thankful for you taking the time, despite your long travel and exhaustion from the previous tournament, to come here. I wish you good luck in this tournament.
Thank you very much.
I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you.